working and getting paid from the City of Stirling? If so, what is the position called? How much is he getting paid? And does he get a car or travel allowance?
Thank you. Mr. Rodich.
Thanks for the question, Mr. Hadley. Yes, Mr. Jardine is employed on a part-time basis, but the rest of your question is confidential in terms of providing you with an answer. I can't go into any detail on that. But yes, Mr. Jardine has a part-time contract with the city.
What is the position called?
Strategic advisor.
Oh, really? That's new. Yeah. Question 3. At the 29th of August council meeting, I asked on behalf of the Ewan Street Community Group details of expenditure regarding this trackless tram project. Again, in February and April, I sought a full, comprehensive list of details. Emphasis on the word details. Tonight, on the 11th of June, this information has still not been supplied. The Mayor, Mark Irwin, stated at the last council meeting that written answers would be supplied. We cannot access information through the councillors as they have been gagged. The obvious question we now ask is, why has this Mayor deliberately avoided providing answers to simple, basic questions? What is he hiding? Are there thousands of dollars unaccountable and undisclosed in this trackless tram fiasco? This council, keen to inform ratepayers of good governance, communication, accountability and transparency, has failed here. We suggest you stand down, Mr. Mayor, as it is apparent you cannot provide simple answers to simple questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your suggestion, Mr. Hadley. You've been responded with those. I don't think it's appropriate that for specific functions you get the cutlery costs or the napkin costs or the tablecloth costs. I'm comfortable you have been provided with as much information as you would need to determine what the costs of those events and the functions were.
We totally disagree with that information, Mr. Mayor. You give us 5 categories of expenditure, but no details, and we seek details.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley.
Oh, take your ball home. Thank you very much.
That's all I've got for questions this evening. So we'll move on now to applications for leave of absence. Councillor Hatton has requested a leave of absence for 25th of June 2024. Councillors, are there any other requests for a leave of absence? Can I have a mover and a seconder for that leave of absence? Thanks. Councillor Pard, seconded Deputy Mayor, and just show of hands for those. I think, Councillor Hatton, you've got to vote for it yourself. Yeah. Thank you. That is unanimous. Item 9, confirmation of minutes. Councillors, can I please have a mover and a seconder to accept the minutes of the ordinary meeting of Council held on the 28th of May. Move Councillor Hatton, seconded Councillor Kristovich. And if I could just have a show of hands for those as well to accept the minutes. That is unanimous. Thanks, councillors. Announcements by the presiding member, I have nil. 11, unresolved business from previous meeting, I have nil. Now I'll move to 12, reports and recommendations from committee. Nothing is required to be pulled out from planning and development, but of course happy to do so. If anyone would like to pull anything out, Councillor Dudek.
Just one question, if possible.
Sure.
Regarding item 12.1 CF3,
Yes.
councillors received an email this week with a calculation based on how many dwellings could potentially fit on the site, and councillors have received a slightly different calculation in a memo. Are we perhaps able to get just an explanation on the difference sometime before the item were to come up again?
Yes, so the intent is, and that's why the information that went to councillors said that the request to extend the time has been approved, so it's been approved verbally. So there is time, so the intent is that you will have more of a briefing and more information before council reconsiders this at a committee meeting. Councillor Reid?
Yes, thank you. Just a question on 12.1 CF2 on page 19. One of the recommendations is to consider the alternative was to consider the options on page 24. The following options were considered, presented in order which they are recommended. The option summary. So, looking at the recommendation on page 19, and forgive me if I'm misunderstood, those options, I gather this,
So the
Is
committee
option
recommendation was to support the local planning scheme number 3 amendment
yeah,
without modifications. So it's one of those options.
so that's option 1.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to pull that then, thank you very much, and support option 2. Because it doesn't actually say option 1 there. Even though it's talking about it, it's clear, but the comment someone made me was, why didn't they actually say option 1? And I said, I don't know. So I'd like to pull that application.
Because it doesn't say option 1, or you disagree with the actual committee recommendation?
Because I believe it should be option 2.
Okay.
That the council defers to
Sure.
consideration.
No, we'll wait.
as
We'll
previously
bring it out and we'll
discussed.
deal with that item. It was heavily debated at committee. Councillors, are there any other items you wish to pull out? If not, we'll go straight to that item and get Councillor Proud if you'd like to move the committee recommendation.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, I move the committee recommendation on page 19.
Thank you. Is there a second for that committee? Deputy Mayor has seconded. Councillor Ree is opposed.
Yes, thank you.
No.
Nope.
You're opposed. Just,
Yes.
That's all right. Councillor Proud.
This was debated robustly at council. We had a couple of deputies. The decision was that the committee decided was this option and not any others. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
I agree.
Thank you. Councillor Ree.
Thank you. Yes, there was a lot of discussion, and there was a number of people that came from the community to air their views, including people from the schools and the community centres. And on page, 22, there was 79% of all the submissions were objecting to it. One of the considerations that was said at the time, because we've not only got changing a road, changing the ingress, the egress, changing what was going on in the street, the increased development, blah, blah, blah. And as we know, that from previous issues that we don't have a master plan, that it was considered at the time that a master plan should be put forward so that we can make sure that both sides of the street, up and down, everybody is in the same boat. And that's where I thought we were up to, that was a better way of making decisions. Everyone would be considered. Everybody would know what's going on. It's not saying that this won't happen in the future. What this is saying is that we need to have a better plan of the area before anyone does any more development. So I'd like to move, and I believe
so-
that will be a change in 1 to 2, but I may be wrong.
So you can't move anything. So let me give you some
I
clarification.
foreshadowed number 2.
So you can foreshadow
if you
number
like.
2.
The foreshadow number 2,
Yes, I
which
understand.
means 1, 2 and 3 would have to be removed, I gather.
But we'll do this one first because this is a motion. So, but let's make it clear. This is a very different item to what you're just talking about. So there were several components. What was acknowledged, there's a council resolution to open and seal Boom Lane. This part of it is to change the planning scheme to allow contributions to be collected. That is aside from the fact of what the future master plan. So whether Boom Lane is only opened in part or it has some other sort of makeup that comes with the road network, this just allows any development that occurs during that time to collect development contributions for the right-of-way. So this is only a scheme amendment for the right-of-way payments. It doesn't affect any of the future makeup of what the master plan would be, which is why council ended up supporting it. And the people who came along, many of them acknowledged they weren't quite sure what this part of it was.
I think there's still an element of confusion and...
There definitely is.
There definitely is confusion. We're considering all the people that have come backwards and forwards and what they wanted. And I don't think the report actually does justice to the conversations, in my opinion, and a lot of people else, because they're still confused. Even though, I can understand with the contributions, yes, but the way it's written, it's still sort of supporting option 1, and it's not supporting the bigger picture. So I can't understand, and forgive me if I'm wrong, why we can't, my foreshadowed that we do option 2 and then we can go and get the amendments later. Because if we sit there and say, right, we'll go and get contributions from developers now, well, really, we don't want developers now until we know exactly what's going on in the zoo.
There is a resolution on the table from this council to open Boom Lane. That hasn't been rescinded.
No, I'm not saying that it's going to be rescinded. What we're saying is we've got people plus, minus, every bit of that street going on for years. So what we're saying is let's not make a decision until you actually have a plan of the area going forward. That's my whole point.
Sure, and I don't want to debate you, council. I'm just trying to provide clarification. It was acknowledged by a lot of the people coming along because there have been several other things, being the Safe Active Street project, the closure of Tyler, all those things. Whilst the scheme amendment, because of the nature of a scheme amendment, it went out to a radius of 200, where really this is only about the residents on that laneway. In a normal process, you'd only be asking the residents of the laneway. So we're looking at 100 plus odd people interacting, saying they were saying no, they don't want the laneway open because the school said we want to have future with that master plan. But it's irrelevant to the residents who live along Boom Lane who need to have this in place so that in the future their contributions mean they will get a laneway. But anyway, happy to take your debate. Does anyone else want to debate this? If not, I'm happy to put the motion that is up, the committee recommendation. Move Councillor Proud, seconded Councillor Migdale, noting that the foreshadowed would mean that we don't collect these and we go to option 2. No, it's going to the vote. So this is the committee recommendation. Yes, it is a committee recommendation. Thank you. So all councillors voting for it, Councillor Reeve voting against. This doesn't, and just to clarify, this doesn't preclude, the master plan is still being talked. Yep. Councillor Proud, I'll now go to the balance of reports from the Planning and Development Committee, if you'd like to move those.
You're doing my job for me tonight. I'll move the balance of reports for the P&D meeting last week.
Thank you. And seconded Councillor Hatton. I will put those to the vote. Thanks, councillors. That is unanimous. Members of the gallery, those viewers at home, please note that the remainder of those Planning and Development Committee recommendations have been adopted by exception resolution. And just to make it clear in case there's any viewers at home, the 12.1 CF3, the North Beach Urban Renewal, is carried over to the next committee meeting. So that is an item that will be dealt with then. I'll now go to item 13. There is nil. Item 14, notice of motion for consideration. 14.1, proposed notice of motion from yourself, Councillor Ree.
Yes, thank you. I think I need to go to the original, my original. Oh, where are we?
Yep, so it's up on the screen now, the black.
Yeah.
And the red one is the alternative that's been offered to you by officers.
The only thing is that that where we've got the environmental promotion display being incorporated in the city of
Sorry,
Stirling
Councillor, can you lift your
tent
microphone up? Just
Sorry.
so that's right.
tent events used at the community events. I'm still not sure we're doubling up there with that one, but if we can do it as a trial, then we'll do it as a trial.
I'm not sure what you want to do now. So
No, I'll support the suggested alternative recommendations on page 104 as depicted in red on the screen, as changed by the officers, because there is statutory reasons why it has to go certain ways.
all right, that's
yeah.
clear. Can I get a second for that? Councillor Kristovich, is there anyone opposed? With your indulgence, can I just ask a question? And it's only related, I don't have a problem with this. I do just have a question regarding 2 though. To actually put a notice of motion to say that environmental health promotion display be incorporated into the City of Stirling tent used at community events. Does that mean that, my concern there is, well, I understand the intent, does that mean if there's a sporting event and there's not one that someone hasn't enacted the notice of motion?
Means that, you know, like when they're having community safety, they actually say if the community safety tent, which is what we use at different events, it says, you know, like lock your doors, these are the ranges. What I'm saying is that when you have one of those, you actually have a leaflet in there saying your swimming pools need to be checked, you need to have your gates up. If you do your sausages, don't leave your sausages in your car before you eat them 2 days later.
Sure, so it's just having the right leaflets there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that-
just
that-
linking them all together
No,
in
I'm
the
comfortable
one
with that, that's
place.
all. I just wanted to
That's
make sure
all.
there wasn't, like, meant they had to be staffed at every event or...
It's the same amount of staff, all
Yeah,
it's doing
no,
is
comfortable.
adding a leaflet.
All right, no one's opposed, so I'll put that one to the vote. Just waiting on one. Just got Councillor Migdale. Yep, thanks. That's unanimous. And we have 14.2 proposed notice of motion. Councillor Ree.
Yes, with this one, on page 107, the council is going to review it, hopefully soon. So incorporate the table so that when people are looking at consultation, it's across the city, they can see it easily, doesn't matter what it is, and I think that'll be a welcome change for people.
Yep, suggested alt rec.
Yeah. Yes,
Seconded
thank you.
Councillor Proud. Is there anyone opposed to this one? No, I'll put that to the vote. It was a good motion, Councillor Ree. I've got a couple to go. One more, I think. There we go, and that's unanimous. Thank you. Item 14.3, proposed notice of motion, illegal smoking implements. Do I have a mover of a motion? Thank you, Councillor Ree. And seconded, Councillor Thornton. Is there anyone opposed? Oh, the alternative rec? The red one? Councillor Dudek?
Just a question as well, wondering if we could potentially move these items separately?
Yep, happy to move them separately. Yes. Seconded, Councillor Thornton. All right, is anyone opposed? If not, I'll put these separately. So I'll put number 1, with regard to the planning policy, to the vote. I'll just do hands, councillors. We've just got a technical issue. Thank you. That is unanimous. And number 2, is that I right? So a show of hands for number 2. Thank you. That is, I just need a show of hands. Yep. So for Thornton, Olo, Ferrante, Migdale, Papard, Kristovich, Judici, Lagan, Perkoff, Hatton, Ree and myself. And against Dudek, Proud. I think that's it. That's good. That is carried. Thanks, councillors. And item 14.4, proposed notice of motion on review of rights of way, City of Stirling planning scheme. Do I have a mover of a motion? Councillor Kristovich moving the alt rec. Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Papard. Is there anyone opposed? No, I'll put that one to the vote. Got one, Councillor Reid. Yep, that is unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Councillors, do you have any notice of motions for consideration at the next meeting? Councillor Reid? Just your microphone.
The council supports the CEO writing to the relevant state government agencies such as the Department of Water and Environmental Regulation and the Department of Health to request a meeting to explore the opportunities for recycling of the existing wastewater from the Osborne Park and Herdsman areas with the intent for water reuse in parks, reserves and verge areas. The state government sewage policy and plans...
That's fine, councillor. You don't need to read that out. That'll go into the agenda. It's good. Get some advice from Rottnest. I think they're having problems. Are there any other notice of motions? No? No indication? It's over to you. Item 16, questions by members of which due notice has been given. I have nil. 17, new business of an urgent nature. We have nil. It brings to item 18, which is matters behind closed doors. Councillor can have a move and a seconder to go behind closed doors. Councillor Lagan, seconded Councillor Olo. And just a show of hands to go behind closed doors, councillors. Thank you. That is unanimous. This so we can consider 18.1, the CEO probationary performance review report.